My God, I hate drugs.
Let's now go to Batangas. Tanawan Mayor Antonio Halili was laid to rest today, about a week after he was killed. Over 1,000 supporters paid their respects this morning. They are calling for justice. Rex Remitio is joining us on the line. Rex, go ahead.
A gloomy atmosphere fell over the city that is supposed to be called the City of Colors. In Tanawan City, it's not your usual joyful Sunday. Some would say life has temporarily stopped. Since this morning, residents donned in yellow patiently waited at the sidewalk of the Mabini Avenue. They're the supporters of Mayor Antonio Halili, who was shot dead in broad daylight on Monday. Until now, a lot of questions are still looking for their answers. Who was his killer? What is the motive? And was he really involved in the illegal drug trade or not? Inscribed in their shirts are phrases, "Justice for Mayor Halili," and a black ribbon print beside his photo. Streamers have different styles and designs, but they also bear the same words, "Justice for Mayor Halili." They watch in silence as the mayor's funeral entourage passes by. Hordes of supporters also welcome him at the St. John the Evangelist Parish Church. It's where the final mass was held for him. His grieving wife, Gina, cried hard after seeing his casket draped with the Philippine flag taken out of the funeral hearse. Emotions ran high among Halili's relatives as the priest gave his final blessing on Halili's remains. After the final mass, supporters take part in a solidarity march for their beloved mayor. A sea of yellow filled the Mabini roads as they walked with the funeral hearse under the heat of the sun. The march lasted for an hour until they reached the City Hall, where a necrological service was held. More than a dozen representatives of organizations and some politicians also gave their tribute. Most of them praised his good governance on how he helped their city to become more developed. Some defended him from President Duterte's claims that Halili was involved in the drug trade. Others also say the killing could be quote sponsored or that the administration was the one behind. But Halili's son, Mark Anthony, said in eulogy that his father's political rivals and drug lords could be behind the assassination. The necrological service lasted for 4 hours before he was brought for his final resting place at the Loyola Garden Cemetery. Emotions ran high again as they paid their final respects and embraced Halili's body. He was then finally buried. Along with him are the questions that are not even sure if he will ever get their much-needed answers. Fine.
Thank you, Rex Remitio, reporting from Batangas. Breaking news from northern Thailand. A daring mission is underway to rescue a football team trapped in a cave for 15 days now. 18 rescue divers entered the cave through underground tunnels. They're racing against time and also risking their lives given the unpredictable weather conditions. Monsoon rains forecast for the weekend bring the threat of flooding in the cave system. Last Friday, a former Thai Navy SEAL died during the mission from lack of oxygen. And in southwestern Japan, flooding caused by torrential rains has killed at least 57 people and forced at least 2 million people to flee their homes. Disaster officials say at least 51 people have been injured, while 33 others are reported missing. 8 prefectures have been affected, including Kyoto and Hiroshima. The Japan Meteorological Agency upgraded its alert system to the highest level in large areas over western Japan. Typhoon Maria, with local name Gardo, is expected to enter the Philippine area of responsibility tomorrow morning. Maria has maintained its strength, packing winds of 185 kilometers per hour with gustiness of up to 225 kph. It was last seen 1,820 kilometers east of northern Luzon, still outside the country. Contrary to reports circulating online, Weather Bureau Pag-asa says Typhoon Maria is not expected to become a super typhoon. It will also not make landfall in the Philippines. Residents of Metro Manila, the rest of Western Visayas, and western sections of Calabarzon and Central Luzon, mainly Zambales and Bataan, Batangas and Cavite, will have occasional rains.
We just still have to alert our residents, especially here in Metro Manila, kung saan napakadaling bumaha, lalo yung mga low-lying areas and yung mga flood-prone areas. Since mahina mga pag-ulan lang nagkukosta ng pagbaha, kahit hindi po ganun kalakas or sobrang lakas yung mga pag-ulan, magbantay pa rin po sa mga pagbaha. Especially with the rising cases of leptospirosis, siguro din kung lusong sa baha, agad-agad po maghugas din ng body parts na nakasulong sa baha.
Vice President Leni Robredo says this is not the right time to talk about changing the Constitution. Robredo says the government should look into the possible consequences once the proposed federal constitution is in place. Robredo explains there are more important matters to consider, like the rising prices of basic goods and the killings of local government officials. Earlier, ousted Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno also warned against the possible shift to a federal form of government. This after the draft proposal has been approved by the consultative committee tasked by the president to review the 1987 Constitution. High-ranking church officials resume their plenary assembly today. Manila Auxiliary Bishop Roderick Pabilio says they have yet to discuss a possible meeting with President Duterte given the president's recent remarks criticizing the church. Bishop Pabilio says there is no schedule yet and details of the said meeting have yet to be finalized. Pabilio, a vocal critic of the president, also responds to Mr. Duterte's recent tirades against the church.
Ako'y naaawa lang sa kanya na ang babaw ng kanyang kaalaman at ng kanyang concern. Alam mo, ang laki ng problema ng bansa, no? Tumataas na ang mga presyo, ang taas ng inflation rate, no? Yung mga tao hirap na sa kanilang buhay. Yan dapat niyang bigyan ng atensyon. Bakit siya magsalita sa mga bagay na hindi niya naman alam? Dasal namin na lahat ng mga mananampalataya ay dapat maging matatag sa pananampalataya. In a way, there is something good that is happening na marami mga tao'y naninindigan na, marami mga tao'y namumulat na, no, sa kalagayan ngayon at sa pagkatao ni Duterte. So that's something good.
This is the second day of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines Plenary Assembly, where high-ranking priests discuss pressing issues that the Church is facing. Tomorrow is the last day of the Assembly. Church officials are expected to release a statement after the meeting. Big news overseas. For the first time in 2 weeks, the boys and their coach were able to send word to their families. They're trapped inside a cave in northern Thailand for about 15 days now. They wrote letters from deep inside the cave system, but despite the optimism inside the cave, authorities are working against time to get them out. CNN's Kim Hutcherson has more.
Messages of love, hope, and optimism. The 12 boys and their coach, stranded deep inside a cave, exchanged notes with the outside on Friday.
I felt better as my son said that he was fine and strong. I felt relieved after I had been worried about my son, that he would be exhausted, he would be tired. I felt better.
Low oxygen levels have authorities working against the clock. Crews are pumping oxygen into the cave as rescuers formulate a plan to extract the boys and their soccer coach. Authorities say they're waiting for a safe window of opportunity to bring them out.
I was worried about him, as there are obstacles to extract him out. Everyone knows that it is difficult to stay inside the cave, but the officials are trying to help him. I hope he is still healthy and would come out soon. I want to send my support to him. I don't have a chance to talk with him.
Diving experts from around the globe converged in Chiang Rai to aid in the rescue effort. According to a U.S. official familiar with the operation, rescuers are considering a buddy dive, sending an experienced diver to individually swim each boy out of the cave. But with more rain expected in coming days, authorities are racing time and the weather to find an escape route.
I know they work so hard and do their best trying to take the children and coach out.
I'm Kim Hutcherson reporting.
In local showbiz now, Mr. Pure Energy Gary Valenciano clarifies he's cleared of cancer. The 53-year-old singer responded to his friends and fans on Twitter who expressed concern after reports saying he is battling cancer. This stemmed from a teaser of a television interview. Gary responds to actress Miles Ocampo, saying he is much better today. He adds, "I've been cleared of the big C. I'm okay, Miles." Gary answers another tweet saying, quote, "Do know I already am healed." Details of the singer's journey to recovery and diagnosis still remains unclear. He also went through bypass surgery in May after doctors noticed a blocked artery in his heart caused by diabetes. From dub smash queen to an official recording artist, Maine Mendoza officially signs a record deal with Universal Records.